In this video, we're going to take you through the process of how to create a job. From that process, we're going to talk a little bit about what type of jobs you can run, how to choose the right options, and lastly, we'll touch on what is quote acceptance. Now, to begin, we're going to go ahead and create a job for an estimate we've already been previously working on. And to do that, we're going to go ahead and hit the create job button. Before I do that, though, a key point I like to stress is that you can absolutely create the job at any point. You don't have to wait until the estimate has been completed or the contract has been signed. You can absolutely create the job at any stage. In fact, there's many reasons, as you'll see, as to why you maybe want to create the job early, be it to build a schedule, potentially to record costs, or to create an outgoing invoice. But from here, we're going to go ahead and hit create job. And at this stage, you're going to see these first three fields will automatically populate with information you'd previously entered in. At that, we can go ahead and put in an expected start date here. And absolutely don't worry if you're not 100% sure what the expected start date is. Go ahead and just take a best guess, as when you get into the schedule, you can actually go ahead and set an automatic expected start date. And all that expected start date is really going to do is pull all the tasks into that particular day. So again, nothing you have to worry too much about. Just take your best guess. From there, though, the last step is we need to go ahead and tell Buildxact which invoice method is this job going to run as. And as you can see, we have three different types of invoicing methods: fixed price, cost plus, and completion percent. So as you can see with fixed price, it'll automatically pull in the contract total. This isn't editable because it's really just pulling across from the estimate costings. So if the contract total isn't reflective of what you want or need, that's all done back through the estimate costings. Through cost plus, you can go ahead and put in your default markup percent. We do have other videos that go through cost plus a little bit later on, but this is just, again, the cost plus that will be default automatically applied, which you can override then at the invoicing stage. And lastly, we have our completion percent invoicing, where you have the ability to select retention, as well as if you are to stipulate the retention per invoice, the retention total, and if the retention is calculated, including or excluding of change orders. For today's example, we're going to run with a fixed price here. And lastly, we have the ability to, at Buildxact, create the default invoice schedule. Just for today, I'm going to go ahead and turn that off, but it does follow and will create a standard default invoicing schedule, which you can further delete and override if you would like. Once we've done that, we can go ahead and hit OK, and that'll automatically bring us into the job management side, where we'll now have access to all the different features and tools, such as the schedule, purchase order, and the ability to cost track, as well as outgoing invoicing. On that, and going back to something I mentioned earlier, you can absolutely create the job, like I said, at any point. And part of that is you're going to see this big yellow bar up here that's basically Buildxact saying the estimate hasn't been accepted. So from here, we can go ahead and hit this little arrow on the top left-hand side, and we can easily and seamlessly navigate between the estimate and the job. From here, though, of course, at some stage, once the estimate has been completed and the contract has been signed, we want to go ahead and let Buildxact know that that's occurred, and we're going to do that by clicking this blue text right here. When we do that, basically what this marking the estimate as accepted is going to do is really two things. The first thing is going to automatically change the status of the estimate to an accepted status. Secondly, though, it's also going to go ahead and lock the estimate from being edited. And the reason for that is essentially once you've confirmed to Buildxact that the estimate has been completed and accepted, we want to lock it so you don't accidentally go back and change quantity or costs, which is then going to have the downstream ramifications around cost tracking and especially outgoing invoicing. So for now, we're going to go ahead and say, yes, the estimate has been accepted. You see that yellow bar has been removed. And so now we're basically fully on the job management side with the whole suite open and ready to go. But of course, at any time, we can navigate back to the estimating side. And that's how to create a job.